Hi everyone, I am the Sarcastic Sloth, and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to talk about Ethan and Grayson Dolan. There's a sentence I never thought I would say out loud. It's for a very specific reason. It's because they've released this new video, and before this video came out, it was preceded by a trailer. Now, you'd think that's not exactly particularly weird, that's not exactly controversial, why are we talking about this? It was the way it was done, quite frankly. I think there might have been a little bit of treachery afoot from their part. Were they playing the game? Were they playing on people's emotions? Were they jumping on the back of something that was potentially quite dark and they shouldn't have really been jumping on the back on? These are the thoughts that we're going to discuss today, so without further ado, let's crack on. Okay, so as usual, everything I am going to be saying are my own thoughts and opinions, and if you don't like that, then ta-ra! We're going to play the trailer first, and I'm going to give a very, very brief overview of why this has become the controversy that it has, okay?
Our only plan should be to keep it as real as possible. It's now July, so yeah, 6 months, 7 months. I'm going to look at... Cut it.
It's a hard part of the story to tell because there's a lot of shit involved.
I'd fully become someone that I didn't know. I definitely hit rock bottom.
So, why is this linked to Carmageddon and Dramageddon? Basically, it has been circulated that the fabled voice memo that Jeffree Star has is one of the Dolan Twins. That would be them describing that James Charles had tried to abuse them at a point before Dramageddon 2. That's keeping it super, super basic. There are channels out there that will, go into the full details of them. If you go onto Bruce Allen's channel, I'll put a card up here, then he does very good timelines of these kinds of things, and he does so in a pretty impartial way. So you can check him out, that'll be fantastic. But why has this caused the controversy that it has? If you noticed, when this trailer was actually dropped, it was during the course of Carmageddon. Everyone was talking about the voice memo, the fabled, notorious voice memo. Everyone made the natural link because, he's saying he wants to be as real as possible. He gets all upset and he stops talking, and people think, well, if he's getting that upset and he doesn't want to talk about it, then it must be due to X, Y, and Z. This has nothing to do with Carmageddon or Dramageddon or any Geddon for that matter. It was in regards to their new video that's just come out, which was about Ethan's acne situation that he's dealt with over the course of the last 6 months. Well, obviously he's had it before then, but it's him actually dealing with the acne itself over the course of the last 6 months. I know. He mugged us all off. They did it again, because they actually did this previously with Dramageddon 2. They did a very similar thing. Everyone thought that they were going to address that particular issue, and they just didn't. It was just more promotion really for them. So people aren't exactly happy with it. People are pretty annoyed. I mean, the actual video itself I have sat through. We will talk about that. Just going off the back of this trailer, do we think that this was all done on purpose? Is it the case that they knew what they were doing? Because it's a totally ambiguous trailer. I mean, if you look at it that way, I mean, another thought process could be, did we all just project what we wanted to see upon it? I mean, it's just a trailer to drum up interest in their video at the end of the day. Who's to say what it was actually linked to? It was just trying to pique people's curiosities to click on it and eventually get those views, and they knew they were going to get those views, to be fair, but are they just promotional masterminds? That could be a case too. Do I think that? No, I think they've been cheeky. I think they have mugged us off, in all honesty. They obviously knew what they were doing because they've done it before. I think it's out of order to sort of jump off the back of that. It's pretty dark. It's very dark. Again, it's that thing of, did we as a community project it on them? I'll be honest, I'll be straight up. I don't think the memo exists, if I'm being totally honest, because the people who said that they have heard it, and I've said this in a video before, their credit isn't good with me. I don't believe Blair. I don't believe Tatty. I don't believe Shane. I don't believe Jeffree Star. Like, I don't see why, if I don't believe them over a whole host of other reasons, then why would I believe them on this? I think they're all pretty treacherous and conniving, if I'm being honest. To different degrees, but those are at their core at the end of the day. That's what I think about the voice memo, at least. So then it is just a video on him dealing with his acne. Now, I actually watched the video just because it was one of those things that I thought, oh, maybe if I just watch this, there'll be something will come out in it. But then, I don't know, they might let something slip. It was a quiet night on Twitter. All right, leave me alone, yeah? First thing I thought was, this could have been 10 minutes as opposed to like 25. I think it was 25 minutes. Bloody hell. And also as well, it was super cheesy. It was so cheesy, man. It was cheese on toast. It was a fromage, man. It was just so, it was lots of sad piano in the background and lots of looking out into the distance, and it was very, cheese on toast. But then if you think about what it was at its actual core, because I don't know if any of you guys have ever had any kind of acne problems. I've never had anything to the severity that he's had, because it was pretty bad. It is pretty bad at the end of the day. It's not gone, is it? I used to get some acne around here quite regularly when I was younger, until I got to the point where I could grow a beard, and then I sort of hid it, and then one day I shaved it off and I was like, oh, it's gone. Sweet. Okay, nice one. Just got on with it then. Every now and again as you get older, and any adult will vouch for this, if you touch your face enough times, you're going to get the odd spot here or there. But I thought he had pretty bad acne, quite frankly. The other thing that I didn't like about it, which I thought was pretty harsh, was if he typed in his name on Google, it just came up with Ethan Dolan ugly or Ethan Dolan acne. So if you're that famous as well, everyone knows you for your looks, right? You and your brother for your looks. And then all of a sudden, you get this severe acne, and everyone's talking about it. I was self-conscious with no one knowing who I was and no one talking about it. Well, maybe the odd cheeky mate or whatever. I couldn't imagine that being the subject of gossip videos and things like that. It was just, that bit bummed me out for him, I won't lie. If you stripped away all of the malarkey of what surrounded it, and what, in terms of the trailer and how it came out, and if you, actually stripped down the video itself to maybe 10-15 minutes max, I thought it had a positive message. It's not directed at me, of course. It's obviously directed at the teenage fans, and a lot of them are going through that kind of stuff. And let's be honest, think about back to when you were at school. Maybe you were this kid, but if you ever think back to that kid where you're like, what, bloody hell, man, how the hell does that happen? And it's harsh because it's random. It's totally random. So I thought the message of the movie was actually, it was good. I was still annoyed that I'd been gypped. Did it need that trailer to be released in the manner that it did, particularly circulating around the circles that it did, for it to be successful? No, I don't think so. I think it drummed up a bit more interest. It got interest from people that they wouldn't have necessarily had it from before. But I imagine anyone who thought that it was going to be about Dramageddon, James Charles, all that malarkey, as soon as they realised that it was about acne, clicked off. So, what was it, The View, and it was nothing else that they wanted? Or because they're huge, they've got millions and millions of subscribers. So was it necessary? I don't think it was necessary at all. I think it was pretty bloody cheeky, if we're being honest. I think it was I think they knew what they were doing. I think they absolutely knew what they were doing, especially since it's something that they've done before, so they're just reverting to past tactics. And do not get me wrong, I think it's fully out of order for them to be jumping on the back of something as dark as ABUSE of that nature to hawk their film. Absolutely, I'm not saying any different. Don't get that confused. Do not get that twisted. I think that's grim. I think they knew what they were doing. I think people are just very desperate to find out if that memo even exists at this point in time. I don't think it does. I don't think it does at all. But there's no evidence to link, is there? It's not like they ever said. It's not like they ever said. They just released an ambiguous trailer at a very specific time when everyone was talking about, how much of a possibility it is that one of them, particularly Grayson, was the one that people think the most. It was going to be the person who was speaking on that particular voice memo. Or are we the fools in all of this? Are we the fools in all of this for just putting 2 and 2 together and getting 5? I do think that there has been a large element of projection, and they knew that was going to happen. They knew that was going to happen. They were counting on that happening. And they went, yeah, well, okay then, we'll ride the crest of this particularly dark way. And there's plenty of people who beforehand, they said this isn't going to be it. They've done this before. If we get anything like this in the future, no one's going to be watching that bloody video, even if it is a very boring night on Twitter. So, with that being said, I wouldn't trust them with a packet of crisps. But anyway, you let me know what you think in the comments. I would really like to know, and I would love to hear what you've got to say. So, on the back of that, I hope you like, I hope you also subscribe, because that would be banging, and stay safe out there, as per normal.